Long before and long after the famous Triple Dead Heat in 1956, the Hotham Handicap, or the Dalgety as it's now known, had been an invaluable guide to the Melbourne Cup. This year should be no different. And it's the horse that wrote his name into the history books last year that heads the weights. Sub-Zero's lead up to the big one this year has been similar to 12 months ago. You can be sure the big grey horse will be working home at the end of 2,500 metres. In the past few weeks, Silk Ali has gone from an honest handicapper to a genuine Melbourne Cup contender. He's a long strider, he'll be suited by Flemington, and his work this week has been outstanding. The Gay Waterhouse trained Tiako Nick is getting fitter with every run, and he'll stay all day. For a Bart Cummings duo, it's do or die. Tennessee Jack hasn't lived up to his potential yet, but his work on Thursday morning was most impressive, especially when you take into account that he lost both hind plates during the gallop. His stablemate notwithstanding also needs to run one or two to sneak into the Cup. His work too this week has given Bart a glint in his eye. The form of Marrakesh reads well. He should have won the Kunji rather than just being pipped by Silk Ali, and he's nicely in with just 1.5 kilos over the minimum. While at nice each way odds, don't be surprised if Centreway runs a cheeky race. His effort in the Moonee Valley Cup of fast finishing fourth was eye-catching. But keep your eyes peeled. The Cup winner might well be going around in the last on Derby Day, the Dalgety.
May well be, and Peter Donegan in the mounting yard, you know, if I'm left with no other impression from this year's Melbourne Cup Carnival, it'll be of the man from Maribyrnong River, Johnny Letts, chasing jockeys around on that stock horse. What a great addition to the coverage it's been. I've loved it.
Sub-Zero, Pete, $18.60 the grey. Silk Ali at $6. Tiako Nick at $15.80. Mercator, $47. Frontier Boy, $21.10. Glastonbury scratched from the Melbourne Cup. Tennessee Jack at $3.80, a clear favourite. Big Baron, $61.90. He needs it wet. Number 9 is Notwithstanding at $4.70, so the Bart Cummings duo first and second favourites. Brawago, $14. Marrakesh, $11.70. Field Officer, $27. Centreway, $11. Skyflyer, $49. Palace Symphony at $52. And Eager Prince, the Tasmanian, at $134.70 for a $1 investment for the win. Race 8, the Dalgety.
That's the way the stand looks from the middle of the course, and that's the way the horses look in the birdcage prior to the running of the...
Dare to imagine, just for a moment, a mystical race. Beginning with number 1, Carbine, the trailblazer of Australian equine excellence. He won Sydney and Melbourne Cups with grandstand weights and carried his greatness to stud. Phar Lap, the most loved racehorse in turf history. This chestnut son of Night Raid somehow carried the nation through the Great Depression. 37 wins all up, from Melbourne Cups to Cox Plates. They called him the Red Terror. Burnborough, the Toowoomba Terror, winner of 26 races from 36 starts, a product of World War II. And it wasn't so much the number of races he won, but the way he won them. From so far back in the field, like a blur of brilliance. Tulloch, the greatest 3-year-old in Australian turf history and arguably our greatest post-war galloper. Tulloch won 3 derbies and a Caulfield Cup in his 3-year-old year, missing his entire 5-year-old season through sickness, yet still coming back to win a Cox Plate and finally Brisbane Cup, rising fast. Picture this. We never saw this plain Kiwi stayer in Australia until he was 5. Yet within a year, he had won 2 Caulfield Cups, a Melbourne Cup, and was lining up the favourite for his second Melbourne Cup with top weight of 10 stone. He finished runner-up to the lightly weighted Toporoa, beaten less than a length. Dulcify. At 3, he won the AJC and Victoria Derbies and the Australian Cup. At 4, the WS Cox Plate in a hand canter. He was truly unbeatable that spring, the way he will be remembered forevermore. After his 1979 Cox Plate triumph, Dulcify had only 2 more starts, breaking down as favourite in the Melbourne Cup. Kingston Town, the big black horse, did it all from 1,200 to 3,200 metres. He won everything from expressway sprints to Sydney Cups, an unequalled 3 successive Cox Plates, derbies, the lot. The super horse, Superimpose, Randwick's super miler. The crowds loved him. even in Melbourne, where he never really displayed championship qualities until it was almost over. His second last race start, triumph. Finally, in an extraordinarily spectacular WS Cox Plate. Let's Elope, the baby of the field. The only female, too. In the spring of 1991, she won in order the Turnbull, the Caulfield Cup, the McKinnon, and the Melbourne Cup, all in a row. Then she came back in the autumn and won the Australian Cup in record time. Enough said. Better loosen up. This plain brown street fighter from the Hayes Empire won a Cox Plate, an Australian Cup, and became our first ever winner of the prized Japan Cup. Apart from his last win, the 1991 Australian Cup, he never won by far. His go was to knuckle it out to the post, wearing away at his rivals stride by stride. He was the working class hero.
Now, what we're asking you to do is imagine that race in your mind, 2,000 metres on a perfect day here at Flemington, perfect weather, perfect track. Now, what would the trifecta be? You have to box them 1, 2 and 3, but they have to be in that order. You can't have 3, 2, 1 like you would in a box trifecta. It has to be 1, 2 and 3. Now, our competition doesn't close until 4 o'clock next Saturday, and I'm sure you realise that we mean, from where we are, 4 o'clock Eastern Summer Time, so the other states make your calculations. So 1, 2 and 3, and pick the trifecta. There's the prize you could win when you call that number, 0055 60526. That's the Nissan NXR Coupe. Beaut little car, 35 grand's worth, all the features in the world. Fantastic little one, and you could be driving it away very shortly. Just pick those horses from that great race in the Field of Dreams and pick them in the order of 1, 2 and 3. You'll be driving away in that little Nissan NXR Coupe. And Peter Donegan, I can imagine that race, and I've got my 1, 2 and 3 sorted out. I'm not saying a word, and I'm sure you're not either.
No, I'm not.
He's racing very well. He looks super in himself, but he really does appreciate the jar out of the track. He doesn't get it here today, so it's hard to see him winning with 58.5 on a fast track.
Number 2 is Silk Alley, one that I'm getting keener and keener about from a Melbourne Cup point of view. His work during the week has been excellent. And when you look through his form, there's nothing wrong with it. 5th in the Caulfield Cup, beaten less than a length by the winner. And of course, he finished very strongly over the 2,000 metres of the Kunji. And he's been beaten 2 heads in a Brisbane Cup too, so there's no doubt about the 3,200.
I marked him here, looks a treat. So does that add to your confidence, Pete?
It does, yes. I think he's good each way value at around the 5 to 1 mark.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. I'd definitely mark him in the top 3 after looking at him in the yard.
Tennessee Jack, I noticed, was right up on his toes, Roy. He's quite excited about being here today.
Well, he's had a lot of problems. He was off the scene for 12 months, but he came back very heavy. This is very, very close to his top here, Tennessee Jack, today. Look for a big run from him. I think Cummings will win the race with one of them. You'll see there he's got the bandages on. He's had bad legs, as I said, off the scene for 12 months, but he's got him back very, very close to his top today.
And he sprung both his hind plates during work at the track here the other morning and still produced a terrific gallop. Well, the other one of Bart's runners is number 9, Notwithstanding, and this is his last chance to get into the Melbourne Cup.
Yes, both these horses, they've got to win or run second to qualify to get a run in the Melbourne Cup. This horse has done an absolute treat since his good second in the Moonee Valley Cup last Saturday. He's got a one-eyed blinker on. He had a habit of wanting to lay in all the way down the straight when chasing Gladstonebury in the Moonee Valley Cup the other day. I believe he's worked a treat with the blinkers on. He looks a picture. I've marked him clearly on top, but I think Cummings will Canella the race.
Marrakesh, of course, was unluckily beaten in the Kunji handicap, and I better not talk too loud because Peter Hutchinson's not too far away from us. Drop your hands, Hutchie, they called him for a while, but they forgot about that when he won the Caulfield Cup on Fra. But he's a pretty smart stayer, this fella.
Nice run in the Moonee Valley Cup also. Moved into the race, looked a top chance coming to the turn. David Hayes did warn us before the race that he may be just that one short. That run really has topped him up, as you can see there. Well, that's Marrakesh going down there now. He's tightened up nicely. Look for a good run from him. He's a pretty honest horse, this guy.
I'll tell you what was also a good run in the Moonee Valley Cup, this horse, Roy Centreway. He made up a heap of ground.
Probably over the last 150, 200 metres of the race, he was the one that was catching the eye. The one that I was concentrating on was what Notwithstanding. But then when you sat at home and had a look over the replays, he was finishing the race off very strongly. Probably I had a question mark about him over a bit of ground until the Moonee Moonee Valley Cup. He looks beautiful in the yard here today. He's a very nice horse, Centreway. I like him as a horse.
So what did you mark on top for the Get Out Stakes?
I suppose JB Cummings on top here. I've marked what do we mark here? 9 Notwithstanding in front of 7 Tennessee Jack, certainly throwing in the 2 Silk Ali. So for the last on the program, I've marked the 9, 7 and 2, Pete.
We've got a field of 15, Roy, and they'll start at the 2,500 metre mark, which is the 200 metre mark in the home straight, same as the Derby, so they'll have a bit of a dash down to the first turn, and then they'll sort themselves out along the Maribyrnong side before the run started about the 800 metre mark. The selections, I like Silk Ali. As Roy said, he's gone for Notwithstanding. Dan's gone for the David Hose trained Marrakesh, and Gary Willits is stuck with his old riding buddy Roy with Notwithstanding. So there you have them, the final event, the Dalgety, a fair bit at stake for some of these runners. We'll be back to watch the running of the Lucky Last after this break.
Good afternoon. Light is on. Iron Racing. Notwithstanding, slow out. Big Baron and Mercator are going to drop out towards the tail of the field. Frontier Boy, Palace Symphony both away pretty well as they run down the straight, and Tiago Nick with a lap to go. Marrakesh is going to end up 4th on the inside with a box seat, and then Tennessee Jack. Skyflyer deep, and then came Sub-Zero, the grey on the outside of Brawago, Silk Ali, Eager Prince. Then Notwithstanding, one off the rail from Big Baron Mercator. Centreway was second last, and last of all Field Officer. Along the Maribyrnong side of the track, about 2,000 metres to go, and Palace Symphony goes to the lead. By 1 length to Tiago Nick, and Frontier Boy was third. Marrakesh fourth, the inside of Tennessee Jack. 2.5 lengths away Sub-Zero on the inside of Skyflyer. 3 lengths to Brawago, a half to Silk Ali. 3 lengths away Notwithstanding. Then Eager Prince, Mercator, 1.5 to Big Baron. Back to second last was Centreway, and Field Officer last of all, 15 lengths off the leader, Palace Symphony. Inside the mile marker, 1,550 metres to travel, and Palace Symphony on top by 1 length. Frontier Boy was second. Tiago Nick was third, 1.5 to Marrakesh, fourth on the inside of Tennessee Jack. Then Skyflyer around Sub-Zero, 1.5 Brawago inside Silk Ali. 1.5 to Notwithstanding, who settled well. A length away Eager Prince, 3/4 Mercator, 1.5 to Big Baron, Field Officer. And Centreway last of all, about 12 to 14 lengths off the lead. Inside the 1,200 metre marker, and the leader is Palace Symphony, a half a length to Frontier Boy. 1.5 to Tiago Nix, who's had a nice run. 1.5 lengths away Tennessee Jack, the fourth. Then Marrakesh as they sprint up again, 2 lengths to Skyflyer, then Sub-Zero. 1.5 to Silk Ali, and then Brawago, Notwithstanding coming into it now. Followed by Mercator, Eager Prince, hard-ridden from Field Officer. Centreway's gone back to the tail with Big Baron. Up to the turn they go. They have 650 to go, and Frontier Boys at the front of the Dalgety. From Palace Symphony, 3 lengths away, but running on Tennessee Jack. Tiago Nick's under pressure, then Marrakesh, Skyflyer. 4 lengths away, Silk Ali, Sub-Zero, Notwithstanding. Turning for home, and Frontier Boy got to the front. 400 metres to go, Frontier Boy in front of Palace Symphony. Tennessee Jack was third, then Marrakesh into the clear and running on well. 300 metres to go, Frontier Boy and Tennessee Jack, the stablemates. 1.5 lengths away, Marrakesh running on well. Tennessee Jack goes to the front for Marrakesh, Frontier Boy. Notwithstanding down the outside. Tennessee Jack in front of Marrakesh, Notwithstanding gets a third, but Tennessee Jack's in front, and Tennessee Jack goes into the Melbourne Cup. Wins 3/4 to Marrakesh and Notwithstanding. Flying home to run fourth was Skyflyer, then Tiago Nick, Frontier Boy. Brawago next in, and then came Mercator. Welbeck, London Bridge, and Field Officer, Palace Symphony, Silk Ali. He was disappointing from Eager Prince, Big Baron, and Centreway. Number 7, Tennessee Jack, ridden by Mick Dittman, has won the Dalgety. Therefore qualifies to start in Tuesday's Melbourne Cup, and I'm sure on that performance, it was a gritty win, Gary Willits. He would be a chance because he was one of the early favourites for last year's Cup.
He certainly was. He was beautifully ridden by Mick Dittman. Had a lovely run all the way. I noticed Mick ran about the 800. He just moved the horse forward, and he went to the line very well.
$5, $10 and $2 for Tennessee Jack, $2.90 for Marrakesh, $1.80 Notwithstanding. Placings will be 7, 11 and 9. Fourth, number 5, Frontier Boy. Fifth was number 14, Skyflyer. And the time was very good, 2:34. It's great to see honest and fast racing, and we've seen that all day today, Gary.
Here's the replay here coming up now, and you can see Tennessee Jack. He's just gone past Frontier Boy. Marrakesh is the challenger, ridden by Michael Clark. And here's Notwithstanding coming home very fast on the outside. You notice Stephen King, he's got that stick in the left hand, and he's still got that tendency to want to get in. But all the honours are with the winner, Tennessee Jack. Marrakesh was gallant in defeat, and Notwithstanding just didn't quite get home like I thought he would.
5 wins from 9 on the track for Tennessee Jack, and he becomes eligible for the Melbourne Cup.
You can see Tennessee Jack might get in a little bit. You can see the blue, there's Marrakesh, and on the outside, Notwithstanding with the white cap, and you'll see he'll just have a climb to want to get in. Stephen's got the stick in the left hand. That's that reason why he just wants to lay in all the time, and it just seems to stop the horse from getting to the line like a good horse. But all the winners are with Mick Dittman and Tennessee Jack. It was beautifully ridden, went to the line very well.
Bart Cummings, the winning trainer. He's got a big chance to win his 10th Melbourne Cup on Tuesday. Bart's with Peter Donegan.
Yes, Bart Cummings just having a chat with Leon Corstens down here, and we might see if we can interrupt Bart for a moment. Well, we saw him work on Thursday. You said his work was the best it's been this preparation. He lived right up to it.
Yeah, he seems to have just come good at the right time, and his run today was quite good, and he couldn't put a foot wrong. He ran home very well, and I don't know what the fractions are, but it was certainly a good trial for the Cup.
Notwithstanding, on the face of it, it's probably going to miss out, but I think there could be a few dropping out now, so there is some school of thought that he may sneak in.
He'll have to lift his game to beat the winner, I think, just the same.
Yeah, I think so. OK, thanks, Bart.
Thanks a lot.
We'll look forward to seeing you on Tuesday, maybe a 10th Melbourne Cup. Here's Johnny Letts.
Mick Dittman, the rider of Notwithstanding. Mick, a great win.
Yeah, it was a good win, John. I had a beautiful run, and if he can really stay this horse, he wouldn't be without a good chance in the Cup.
Good chance, lightweight chance in the Cup. He's qualified now. Good luck, Mick. Good luck on Tuesday on the other ride.
OK, so that was the reception for Tennessee Jack as he comes back, and here's Mick Dittman coming back to scale now. Tennessee Jack, he's promised so much for so long, and now he's in the Melbourne Cup field on Tuesday. Great performance by Tennessee Jack. Second placing in the race, a good game effort by Marrakesh, and third home was Notwithstanding number 9. The numbers are 7, 11 and 9, and the time for the journey 2:34. So there it is, the last race is run on the first day of the carnival. You can sort out your cup fancies from here. We'll take a break and be back to wind down the day and have a look at some of the highlights of AAMI Victoria Derby Day.
Welcome back to the closing stages of what's been a simply sensational Derby Day here at Flemington. The weather and everything else has been absolutely perfect. Now we're looking for correct weight, are we? On the Dalgety. We're looking for it, and we think it's coming. There's Mr. Lawler now. And he's still got them up there on the scales. I nearly broke those scales this morning. Frightened myself. It only goes up to 87 kilos. There's Mr. Lawler. Last of the formalities. He will turn around and give us a nod any moment. There it is.
Correct weight.
He's happy. We hope you are too. Let's check your dividend right around the country.
Tennessee Jack, $5.10 and $2 even. $2.90 for Marrakesh, $1.80 for Notwithstanding. Quinella paid $20.80. The race-to-race double, $65.60, and the trifecta, $151 even on 7-11-9.
Good win by Tennessee Jack, and now we're awaiting the presentations down towards the mounting yard for the Dalgety. Glad yourself today.
It's been wonderful, but I think Michelle's feeling a little frustrated. She was going to back Tennessee Jack and didn't happen.
I do it every year, Marie-Louise. I say, this one's going to win. I tell everybody else to back it, and I don't do it myself.
You did tell me this morning to back it, but how was the fashion today?
Terrific, actually. I think because of the weather, the fashion was outstanding, and everybody agreed that this year Australia really does set the trend in fashion. We really have great fashion here, and it showed through today. How was your first day?
It was wonderful, absolutely beautiful, absolutely picturesque, and we'll see you again on Melbourne Cup Day.
See you then.
We will. Thanks, girls. Well, I've got Peter and Roy with me, and a lot of things out of today. And Peter, you've told me already the highlight for you, Mahogany. Gee, what a win in the Derby.
Well, as we said earlier, Tim, you don't see that sort of authority in major races, but he just gave them absolutely no chance from the time he straightened up for home. He's a brilliant 3-year-old.
Now, the McKinnon and the Dalgety, what pointers have we got, Roy?
Well, I think it's starting to get a little bit obvious that Bart Cummings is coming up for his 10th Melbourne Cup. I noticed a great big bay mare in the McKinnon Stakes bowling down the centre of the track. called Great Vintage.
Yeah.
Looks as though you'll pick her up well out to the left-hand side of your screen, late in the race. She was last all the way. That's her style of racing. She does get a long way back. You won't pick her up until just near the post. I'll pinpoint her. She finishes 6th behind his other representative in the race, which was the grey mare and our Great Vintage, our Tristolite.
Yeah.
And she too ran a super race.
Yeah,
and the last, he saddles up and he wins the last race. So he's probably going to have 3, what looks like 3 good chances in the Melbourne Cup. I have, and have all along, had a good leaning towards Great Vintage. I've watched her progress right through, and certainly after today, I'm more convinced I think she will win the Melbourne Cup.
He is a genius at getting horses ready for not only this week, but that day, isn't he?
I always said about the great man, because I rode for him for 16 years, that not only can he have a horse ready for the day, but he has him ready for the hour. That's how precise he is in preparing a horse. So I think it's going to be another big day's racing on Tuesday, and I think JB Cummings will be to the fore again.
Mind you, he doesn't give too much away when you ask him.
I know, I was with him for 16 years, Tim. He never gave much to me either.
Okay, other horses you liked today?
Well,
I like the look of the Fine Recipes run. I thought it was pretty good, but as you said, Arborea
was just terrific. And, well, there doesn't seem to be too much doubt she'll get the 2,500 metres of the Oaks now, and that was the best Oaks trial as far as I was concerned, in front of 50,000 people on Derby Day, and it's been the biggest crowd for a long time.
Yeah. I'm just being told by the director in my earpiece, the biggest crowd for a long, long time, nearly 51,000. So that's great, and they had a beaut day, didn't they?
That's super. We're in for a big Melbourne Cup day, and for the last 2 or 3 years, Oaks Day has always been bigger than Derby Day, so look forward to Oaks Day. Speaking of the Oaks, with Arborea, she comes down 1.5 kilos and meets all those other fillies on with a better weight advantage. She'll be hard to beat. She did come from behind Fine Recipe, and I do think that Fine Recipe's in there with a great chance also.
All right, racing to come, Tim.
Thank you, fellas. We'll see you on Tuesday. And more importantly, of course, we'll see you on Tuesday. We've got Cup Day to come, we've got Oaks Day to come, and of course, Finals Day the following Saturday. And lots of fun between then and now. From all of us here, goodbye from Flemington.
The best stayer, and he's won.